Hello and welcome. It is Wednesday, August the 18th, 2021. It's time for the Topher Spin Meteorites and Knowledge Bolide Hangout. We're going to have a little bit of a shorter session than we normally do due to time constraints on a bunch of us. And also we have a few of us attending the MetSoc conference up in Chicago. So next week, we'll hopefully have a report from Pat Brown because he's there right now. And I know that Daniel Shake is there, and there's a few other people that are from the Knowledge Bolide that are in Chicago. So we were hoping one of them would dial in live and give us a little update, but we weren't so lucky today. We are lucky to have a beautiful meteorite that we can see that you can't. Let's show it to you. John Young has something. Boom.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So that's rigs.
Yeah, we've had a few of these on, so I thought I'd show mine. I'm just going to show two things that I just got in the past 2 months. But this is a Campo Las Palmas I got a couple weeks ago. It's 942 grams. It's pretty hefty in your hand. It's really nice. The guy had 3 of them. I picked the biggest one, but it was pretty amazing that by the end of the week they were all gone. So I'm glad I grabbed it. But and I'm no meteorite expert, but to me it almost looks like this thing is oriented because on this side there's just kind of like peak on it, but I'll leave it to you experts. But there's kind of like a wizard's hat on the other side. But anyways.
Yeah, that's a good looking compo.
Yeah, it was the nicest looking one. Like it actually has a little ledge it sits on quite well on my shelf. You don't have to like play around with it. But anyways, we've all seen those. I know Ron showed his, and I think someone had a Campo do Cielo a week or two ago. That's one of my latest.
But we were commenting at the time that there was 2 different strewn fields. The normal Campo di Cielo that we're all familiar with, and then this one is Campo di Palmas.
Las
Palmas. Yeah. So I'm not educated enough on the actual. Well, that has some really nice color to it. Nice patina.
Yeah, I really like it. It was a good purchase, but yeah, I know it's not like in the MetBull or anything, but I still, like you guys were saying a couple weeks ago, I find it looks quite a bit different from the regular Campo stuff.
Yeah, but I agree with you, man. That's beautiful, and that's a nice home defense rock too.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, it fits really nice in your hand too, and it's like 942 grams. But I just want to show you the ridiculous COA I got with it. I mean,
and by the way, it would be oriented when you throw it.
Yeah, exactly. So you mount this on your wall, it's like gigantic.
Yeah.
That's first thing I pulled out was that. I was like, whoa. The second thing is 1.17 kilogram Uruacu. It's not a lot to look at, but I like the patina on it. I've never had any of this before, so I just bought the biggest piece I could find.
What's the name of that?
It's Uruacu. It's from Brazil. It's like
Uruacu.
How do you spell it? It's like
Uruacu. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, I might be spelling. I might.
Yeah, Uruacu.
Yeah, I've pronounced it Urasu, but yeah, it's.
Yeah.
But
okay.
it's not my favorite.
Now we all know what we're talking about and looking at.
Yeah, there's not a lot to look at, but I love the patina, and I never had a piece, and I just grabbed this giant piece, and thank God
it actually has a really beautiful pattern on the inside. But that one, I don't think I'd be cutting that one. I like that the way it is.
Yeah, I kind of tend to like the natural patina stuff. I have a whole bunch of other crap stuff. Sorry, I'll show you another time. But that's pretty much it for me. But my 2 big irons I just got the last few weeks.
Can I see the bottom? Can I see the bottom of that one, please?
Oh, the flat bottom.
Wow. God, that's nice and big, dude. 1.7 kilos will do it, huh?
Well, if I missed the guy with the Las Palmas, I'll throw this at him.
That's awesome. And that's a Brazil iron and also Argentina. So South America being well represented so far. Thank you so very much, man. Appreciate you showing us off.
No problem.
Let me lower your hand. There we go. Okay, Chris Monk in the building with his hand up from Rocks on the Ground.
Hey guys. So I have a couple of stones to show today, but they're all the same name. So this is, Oz was commenting, it looks like a heart. Maybe that way. But this is NWA 13272 paired by the main mass holder. This is a ungrouped Achondrite.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
See
nice.
the nice little shock in there?
Oh, yeah.
Nice texture.
I haven't cleaned all the caliche off them yet, but I ended up getting 4 stones. You can see I need to clean them up a bit. There's still some caliche on there. But the shock on them is really cool.
Massive shock veins on all of them, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very lucky to have Chris stop by this weekend. It was a drive-by. It was a drive-by fruity. So he dropped off my Tsarev that he cut and polished and showed me these Achondrites ungrouped, and they are just ridiculous up close with an eye loop. You can trace those shock veins pretty much around the peripheral rock.
Oh.
I
Kind of makes you wonder. It's like if you had all the pieces, could you put it back together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one in the middle, can you pick it up and show us the shock vein on that one? Because it does trace around the perimeter pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
This side's kind of dirty from the caliche, but
Yeah, you can still see it going around.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful, man.
it goes all the way up there. Yeah,
Love me
I'm
some
gonna,
shock veins.
once I get them cleaned up, I got a really good price on these. So I'm not too worried about people being able to afford bigger, weights of it. So I think the biggest one, like this one, might be cut into some slices, and maybe even this one. Well, this one for sure is going to be cut into slices, but I think these smaller ones like this, I'm just going to either half them, or maybe, take one little slice out of there. But I want somebody to be able to go, look at this, and have a big giant in cut.
Yeah.
And, being able to see this texture and stuff on the outside, I think is real important, because these look really good on the outside.
I can't wait for you to clean them up too.
Yeah, for sure.
Man.
Once I get them cleaned up, some of that, I kind of wiped them off with a rag and scrubbed them with a toothbrush, but I haven't got them wet or soaked them yet. So
You're going to use an ultrasonic cleaner?
yeah, I'll put them in the ultrasonic cleaner for a little while with a little bit of vinegar, break that caliche up, get it off there. It should clean up pretty good.
It'll come right off, man. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it'd be nice to, and that is paired from the main mass holder, so that's about as good as you can get right there. That's awesome.
That's correct.
Yeah. Did you have?
Anyway,
Was
That's
that
all I
it?
got.
Bud? Okay.
Yep, that's all.
Well, I'm glad that you brought him over to my house and I was able to take a look at him, because getting that eye loop and tracing that shock vein was very, very reminiscent of doing the same thing on this one. This is probably my best example of a shock veined chondrite.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Nice. It's right there.
Yeah.
That's a
So
good one.
I'll get my patent pending meteorite pointer / dental pick, and you can see that. Let's say it starts here, comes around all the way down this side to here, all the way down here,
Sweet.
and then actually branches off down here and then connects with itself. So we are looking at a 360-degree shock vein that actually branches off there as well.
Wow.
And it is like really predominant.
Like a continental divide.
Yeah. Now let's throw a little education out there. Why is that shock vein protruding?
Because it's harder and it wears slower.
You are correct, sir. Very good. Very good. Yeah. So the shock material obviously has an opportunity to, whoops, there we go. Yeah. The shocked material has an opportunity to harden a lot easier. And like Chris said, it definitely wears out, erodes slower than the normal material. Do I see any more hands up? Because if not, I'm going to show something off.
Hands got
Go
his hand
ahead.
up.
Okay, here we go. This is two little puppies that we usually see nice and sliced up, but there we go.
Yeah, switch the highlight camera.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Camera. There we go. Okay.
Ooh,
Nice.
backlight.
Nope.
Looks
Erg?
like here, yeah, Erg Chech 002
Ah.
individual.
You are correct. We're continuing down Chris's path of, we already did shock veins. So now we're continuing down his path of achondrites, ungrouped. This is the most ungrouped of achondrites there is. Recently tested to be the oldest volcanic material that we know of. Nice.
Oh, nice crystals up there.
That crystal is chromium diopside.
Yeah.
And here's, this one is 4 grams, almost on the dot. And this one is 2.1 grams.
We need a thin slice on that.
I actually got these to remain whole individuals because it's so unique, everyone is cutting Erg Chech.
Yeah.
But to actually have an individual, I think is pretty interesting. You can see where some of the chromium diopside crystal has either fallen out or eroded out right in that little gap there. But just some really interesting, cool material that most of us, including myself, would have said not a meteorite a few years ago. Now I have another little something. This is a special little kit that I'm really happy that I finally got. I got it for resale, but I think it's a nice little kit for someone who's interested. This is a slice of a witnessed fall from Russia.
Oh,
It fell June 21st. I forget what year. 2018. So this is Ozerki.
Oh,
It's an L6. And what's really super cool about it is when you pair it with the other item that I have. Let me get it out of its container. Okay, guys, get ready to ooh and all how awesome this is.
ooh,
yeah.
You
wow.
have the thin section along with the slice. And if you
Oh,
notice the shock vein, I'm
Awesome.
pretty sure these might be from the same rock. So I got them from the same person.
Yeah,
Nice.
kind of looks that way.
Yeah, but if not, it's still cool to have a thin section and a representative sample slice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's a really cool something. And like I said, I just got this, so I haven't had a chance to look at it under the microscope, but
Plus you have a whole individual, I'm sure, too.
yeah, I have a pretty nice individual. But yeah.
Christmas
Whoops.
came early this year.
Oh, Pat Brown is trying to log into the Hangout. Can someone please drop him a Facebook message with the new link, with the new meeting ID?
Yes.
So this is my, thank you. This is my Ozerki thin section and sample slice.
Sweet.
Beautiful.
That's a nice thick slice.
Yeah, it's nice and crusted too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I thought this was really cool. And it'd be really nice if you could have a sample and a thin section for everything that you were collecting, but that's just a
That's
little
what
bit.
I want to do, but my pockets aren't deep enough.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you look at a thin section being, 30 to 40 bucks for, a chondrite, not even something special like an Achondrite or God. Yeah, if you do a Uralite or something like that, how much expensive is that
HED.
gonna be? Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't even imagine having a very expensive meteorite like a Nakla or like Diorbigny, an Angrite, something like that, having a thin section of it.
Murchison.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
a thin section. I do have another thin section as well, and I'm going to give a little shout out to the manufacturer and seller of them because it's a friend of ours. So you guys probably already know who these are just based on the packaging and labeling. I don't know if you guys knew or not, but Timur in Russia.
Ah,
So,
Yeah.
So on eBay, I always bust on eBay, but I'll always give someone props if they're good. I mean, Timur is a great meteorite collector, hunter, gatherer, does everything with meteorites and thin sections. And his shop, there's 2 shops he has on eBay. It's Team Tim, and there might be another one, but he has
nice.
great thin sections.
Beautiful.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to examining this one under the microscope here.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of hinted that at my next live sale, I'm going to have some thin sections. So I think you might
Yes.
be seeing a sneak peek of what may be offered.
wow.
Cool.
So I guess with that said, I don't really do sales on these hangouts, but if anyone's interested in the combo set of Ozerki, reach out to me because you might be too late if you don't.
No reserves, right?
Now I see no other hands up. So we have Ben. So I'm gonna switch right over to Ben.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to show a few NWA 869s. I know that a few of you have showed them before, so I was also on the same streak here. And let me switch this to reverse. Okay. So first I wanted to show, let's see, this little individual. It's a little 3.28 individual.
Is that oriented?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's what I like about it, even though it's very small, is it's complete. I can take it out of the case if I need to, but
It looks
Looks like
complete
it's got
with
rollover
regs.
as well.
Most of the time when Ben shows us a nice complete stone that's like 3 or 5 grams, my normal question is, where did you find it? But I don't think you went to Africa for that one.
no. And this one is like a part slice, a 13.54 grams. Let's see.
It's a very beautiful meteorite for being one of the most budget-friendly ones that's classified.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a 19.12 grammer. Let's see. This one is has secondary on it, on the only break in the crust. Right there.
Yep. That's nice. Now that one I do think is oriented, Arthur, because if you look, you can really, on this one, you can actually see like almost a negative pressure side around the perimeter of it where the crack is, and all the way around you do see a difference in the crust.
Mm-hmm. So that's very nice, very nice.
And then I got my big one, which is an individual 146.99 grams.
They just get bigger and better.
Wow. Yep.
Very nice.
Turn on your ceiling fan when you're weighing it.
Uh-huh.
It'll be 1 more gram.
Yeah, I have a triple beam, and just like you said, if you turn on the ceiling fan, it changes.
I was at a rock show one time trying to sell some sub-gram stuff. And no matter when the wind was blowing, when you took a picture of the scale, I was either getting ripped off or ripping the guy off. So we just decided on a weight in the middle and called it a day.
Yep.
And then
Can't breathe too heavy.
Whoa, look at that one.
now this one is not an 869. I
Yeah.
got this out because you were showing off some shock veins. So this
Yeah.
is just an
Yes.
NWA, but it has some visible shock vein on the surface.
Oh, yes, does. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Wow. Looks like an old lady's leg.
Oh, better duck when you say that. There'll probably be a shoe headed towards you.
Wow. That is really super nice. And like, not that you were going to, but if you were going to cut that, you would see those shock lines going all the way through that stone.
Yeah, you see them on the other side too, just
Yeah.
not as prominent,
Mm-hmm.
Nice crust there.
because
too.
that's just a common weathered ordinary chondrite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to start a petition not to call them ordinary chondrites. They're just extraordinary chondrites.
Yeah, exactly. My
Nice.
thoughts exactly.
Well, that is fantastic. Yeah, 869 is a NWA 869 is a very affordable meteorite for starters and you know, for advanced collectors too. It's I think an L4-6. So it has the L4, L5, and L6 all in that same meteorite. So that's why it's classified as an L4-6. No more hands up. I am going to show off my Tsarev. This is the stone that Chris Monk of Rocks on the Ground cut for me and polished. And I'll just tell you, I'm super, super happy with it. When he brought it over here, I was just giggling. So this is the larger,
Oh,
this is the
boy.
larger end cut.
That's, yeah.
Beautiful.
And he does fantastic work. Look at that.
Yep.
So this one, when I first got it, was covered in caliche. And I cleaned it with ultrasonic. And because it's a chondrite and not an achondrite, and it's not going to the science, I put vinegar in the water as well. And that helps really break down the caliche, giving you this nice clean exterior of the rock.
Mm.
And now Tsarev is a witnessed fall from Russia. And it's known for two things, being jet black inside and having vesicles. And you can see the vesicles being caught in the light.
And lots of metal.
Yeah. And it's hard as a rock, but it is some of the hardest material, as Chris can attest to. But
It's super, super hard.
and it has armored chondrules in there too. But look at how porous that is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The closer you look, the more porous it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the extreme example. This is the it doesn't rival the mesosiderite we had last week with the big nodule in it, but this is about as sexy as my Tsarev gets. And these are my two personal slices.
Sweet.
So if you notice, we have a little, let me see here. Okay.
Oh, a lot of metal in that one.
Tons of metal
Yep.
with this nice metal vein down in here.
Yes.
But wait till you see the other side.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Yes, sir.
And a man cave.
Very nice.
Is that not crazy or what?
That's
Absolutely.
what's that inclusion?
That is a vesicle. That is just a straight vesicle. Now, wait till you see the sexy sister slice to it. Yeah, this is where it just gets redonkulous.
Oh,
Whoops.
wow.
Yeah.
So there's that one.
Oh, man.
This is the one you were looking at. Now here's the sister slice, fingerprint and all.
Screen freeze.
Look at that.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is not for sale. This is private.
It's all for you
collection
losing your
one.
internet, it looks like.
Oh yeah, it's storming out really bad. Yeah, I'm in
I lose my
Arizona right
internet,
now, and
froze up.
it's storming.
So much metal.
Yeah, look at the armored chondrites again over here.
There was one slice that had like 6 armored chondrites all on the same side. Just it was amazing.
You really did a great job on this material. I mean,
Thank you.
there's no cutting loss whatsoever, and like the entire stone turned out beautifully. And these two are mine. Mine. Yeah. So I have a bunch. If you look here, watch this.
Oh,
Got some slices for you. And that's only half of them. This was a big rock. And I think in all, I haven't weighed all the slices and put them in my database yet, but the amount of loss that we had, or that Chris had, was 2 grams, 2.5 grams, maybe. That was it. Besides the cutting loss, I'm talking about fragments coming off. There was like 2.5 grams of fragments, and I put the entire rock together, and it looks intact.
Nice.
He
Was that a
uses-
wire saw?
No, that I cut that with a 10-inch regular saw, but the blade I use it's pretty thin for a 10-inch. It's only 0.03 kerf on it.
Nice. Yeah, that's narrow.
Yeah, he's
Beautiful job.
Thank you.
Seriously, I was very impressed when I got these, and I'm super happy with them. Like I said, these two are going in the personal collection. But yeah, like the end cuts are just exquisite. I was wanting to get a little bit of your guys' feedback on this feature. Let me find my camera first off. There it is. Maybe you guys can give me a little bit of your input as what you think this is. See how it has like lines?
Striations.
Yeah.
Polluted or
almost looks
something.
like a slickenside.
Yeah, I that might be. I don't know if that's where the rock would have broken in half as a natural cleave, like you're saying, a slickenside.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Could very well be.
Here's
Yeah,
the
slick insides because it doesn't look like flight markings.
yeah. This is the unaltered outside. This is also also very blurry. There we go. That's also the unaltered. But then you look at this one side, and it does look. Oh my God! Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's probably, you guys are probably right. That's a slick inside right there. That's a planar sheared. Wow. Oh, the price in this one just went up 50 cents a gram now. I kid. No, I love looking, because honestly, you couldn't see that when I first got it. It had so much caliche on it. Most of the weight loss on this rock was not from cutting, it was from cleaning. Yeah. So yeah, I'm super pumped about that, because those are some beautiful slices that I have in my collection now, and I have some in my inventory to sell. a beautiful, really, really nice dark chondrite witness from Russia. A lot of the chondrites that we look at are like lighter in color, which are also pretty, but this is a nice darky. All right. Let's see here.
Yeah, I was wondering, I had a question about how many times a meteoroid could have the crystal structure changed in the body of that meteoroid due to collisions, and can that be detected when the meteoroid becomes a meteorite and goes into classification and is cut through the diagnostic equipment?
Well, good question. I will try my best to answer it. Remember, I don't have a PhD, but my answer would be yes, it's definitely detectable, measurable, because the impacts and shock have heating and they generate results in the rock. So every time there's an event, there's a change in the rock. And I wish Pat was here because he could tell me when it gets shocked to this gigapascal, it changes to Schreiber site. When it gets to this gigapascal, it goes to another. But that's a finite field. It can only change so many times. It can only go to so many different things. It can only be shocked so hard. But the actual body out in space floating around, it can be bumped 0 times or just once to get it to Earth, or it could be hit 25, 35 times in its 4 billion year life, so there's no limit as far as impacts in space. But once it's on Earth and they do the testing on it, you see the shock value, the S value. So it's an L5 S4. If you see an S4, it's shocked to hell. Yeah. So whenever we see a classification, this is for everyone, not just you are, because I know you know this, but when you see a classification and you see an L6 S3 W0, what you're seeing is the L and H is for the type of chondrite it is. The number 5 is for the size of chondrules. And then you go to the S value, S0 through 4 for the shock value. The higher, the more shocked, and the more hardened crystal or minerals you're going to have in there. And then the weathering is the W. Chelyabinsk or any witness fall is going to be a W0 versus one that's been out in Atacama Desert in Chile for 10,000 years is not going to be a weathering 0. But you also need to keep in mind that just because Chelyabinsk, I'm using it as an example, Chelyabinsk is a weathering 0, doesn't mean the one you have is a weathering 0, or the one you have is a shock level 3. Like that NWA that I showed you earlier with the shock vein all over it, if there was other meteorites in that fall that didn't have that shock value and that weren't classified, it would be classified as a lower, shock 0, shock 1. But if all of them had that, or if that one only was sent to the lab and I told the lab, which I wouldn't, this represents the entire sample, everyone looks like this, then the classification would have been a shock level 4. Any other questions or show off? I have, let me hit this pause. All right, I have a few really beautiful slices of Brahin. Let me see here. Brahin is a pallasite from Belarus, first discovered in 1810. There's a little subgram for Mike. This was a 1.5 kilogram block that I bought and had it stabilized and cut.
Nice thick slice.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wasn't about to go for cutting loss and translucency. I wanted something that you hold in your hand and you know that you're holding almost 200 grams of pallasite.
Wow.
And although it's not etched, you can kind of see some of the Widmanstätten pattern in it regardless. I'm not sure if it's going to come out. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shows.
Yeah. In person, you can see it a little bit better, but beautiful olivines all throughout this.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nice fat slice too. Wow.
With a crust line on it.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Killer.
So then I have a very weird shaped one. This was just like the book stand on the end. Yeah, look at that. Let me see here.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But really, really beautiful olivine in this one. Oh my God. Pat is contacting me. All right. Sorry, Pat. I can't reply to you right now, man. I know he wants to get in and I want him in, but I can't right now. Oh, look at that. Olivines all the way to the end, all different
Yep.
colors. You got amber, brown, and yellow.
They look pretty solid in there too.
Yeah. This is notice the olivines coming right to the edge of the pallasite
Yes.
and over the edge as well.
Yep.
I want to do a pause and I want to show some fake meteorites out of China real quick that are being manufactured.
Oh,
Have you guys seen these fake meteorites? The fake pallasites?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is not going to be to bust on scammers. This is going to be to educate people about what people are doing out there to fake meteorites and to real meteorites. So hold on one second. Okay, so this is unfortunately something that we have to deal with now. We've pointed out people selling fake meteorites, but what you actually have here is a real meteorite that's been molested. Horrible. This is an Altai meteorite from China. They have tons of it. It's a rare meteorite because it's one of two classified, like it is, but it was a humongous fall. So there's tons of it. So what we think they're doing is they're getting Altai, ALETAI, and they are drilling it and putting either terrestrial olivine, terrestrial peridot, olivine, amber, crystals, chewing gum. We don't know.
resin.
My knee-jerk reaction would be because the crystals, the olivines look legit. When I look at them up close, they look legit, whether they're glued in or epoxied in or heated in, or I don't know. But what I think they're probably doing is, they're cutting the crap out of Saracho, the Kenyan pallasite.
Yeah.
I know they're losing olivines. So what are they going to do with olivines? Let's drill it and throw it in in an iron and make our own pallasite. So if you notice though, the olivines kind of like don't go over the edge, do they?
No.
In the real slice, they go over the edge. Here they end abruptly, even though they should be 3D. You can see these are normal lines right here that are filled with highly crystallized metal. You can see it right there. Let me see if this will let me zoom in. No, it won't let me zoom in. But right there, you can start seeing the highly crystallized metal that usually runs these entire paths. So that has all been removed. Here's another example of it. You can see the crystallized metal right there and right here, and they're removing it to put in the fake olivines. We always tell
the other thing that I noticed with this too is I can't think of a pallasite that I've seen that has such a fine grain Whitman-Staton pattern. Most pallasites have a really coarse pattern in them, and that was what first caught my eye. That and those long lines, like you're talking about. Like I can't think of a pallasite that has that.
Exactly. But this is something that's super scary because we always tell people the Widman-Staton lines cannot be reproduced.
Right.
And that's something that us experts will look at right away and say, that's fake. Look at the lines. It's fake. It's but now they're actually using real meteorite stock and just abusing and molesting it, which is ridiculous to me. I can't get over it. So that's one thing that you really should be aware and careful of. There is another thing that I want to show you as well. Hold on one second. Yeah, we were just chatting just now, like how much effort goes into faking that? I mean, what are they hoping to sell it for? Let's be honest. If I had an equal quality Semchen, real honest Semchen with translucent olivines, first off, it wouldn't be cut that thick. Okay. Olivines are not really normally that translucent, that thick, but thinly cut, you're looking at lower mid quality, $7 to $8, high quality, 10, maybe $12 a gram for beautiful Semchen, polished, perfect. How much could they be selling this fake crap for?
I think that it comes down to labor costs, right? If you already have a pile of Kenyan olivines that fell out and they're just sitting there in a pile, and you're paying somebody $3 a day to drill and set them in, then you sell it for $5 a gram. They can do 3 or 4 slices for $5.
Yeah.
There's so many other better ways to spend your day rather than faking stuff. Yeah.
If you already have the money invested in whatever else is there,
yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. How can they make a profit with all the labor involved in creating that?
Yeah.
But labor's cheap there. You're not paying, $15 an hour at minimum. You're paying, maybe that a day, or less.
Yeah. My wife sometimes gets things on Wish or some other places, and you look at it and you're like, for how much I paid for this, how did anyone make any money whatsoever? Like, I paid for the box and the mailing, so and it's ridiculous because I do believe it. They are taking advantage of people to make these and manufacture them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did want to show one other thing that I want to warn people to be careful about. We unfortunately can't trust people, to be honest, on eBay, even when it looks like they are doing the best and listing stuff with scientific information. You'll see here, this guy, I've shown you this guy before. He's a scammer. He's a dirty dog. He's DJ Meteorites. The last time I outed him, within 15 hours of my video going live, everything was removed off of eBay. Then he changed his name, put an asterisk in there, and he's back. So here's an example of him selling this, and he basically calls it, he says, this is Tsarev 001. Well, I'm sorry, it's not. That actually belongs to my friend Embark Ardral, and it's ridiculous that if you look down here, so if you were going on eBay and you were trying to do your due diligence to make sure you're buying a real lunar meteorite, he has all of this chemical composition down here. It is cut and paste directly from the MetBull. So Embark paid for the testing and donated stuff to science, and this Mo comes along, sticks it, cuts and pastes, steals it, puts it on his driveway rock, and sells it. Here's another example. Don't trust any information on eBay that you can't validate. He's the same scammer is selling an LL7 chondrite, and he has this full geochemistry. You cannot get this geochemistry information by licking it. You have to send it to a lab. You have to pay lab work. And it doesn't take a genius, because I'm not a genius. It took me 13 seconds to figure out exactly which MetBull classification he stole his information from. So I just warn everyone, when you go on eBay, you're in the swamps. There's scum and villainy everywhere, and you just need to be extremely careful, because he literally just puts it on here like, purchased in February 2003 from a dealer in Adajar. Well, all he did was take out the guy's name.
Yeah.
It's really just horrible. And I really hope this guy's watching, because he's a pain in my ass and he has no knowledge of meteorites whatsoever. And it's really a slap in the face to all scientists and all serious collectors for him to do that.
Definitely.
So,
yeah. And there are plenty of good people on eBay selling selling, and some of the best people, some that you're going to get great deals from. But you got to learn who you can trust and who you can't.
Exactly. That's why I have no problem telling people who I trust and who is okay to buy from. We should put a little document together that gives all of our. But the thing is, you put a document together and say these are reputable people to buy from on eBay, and the next thing you know, I'm the godfather of the Meteorite Mafia Arizona chapter.
Yeah.
You can't win with scammers, so I don't even try. But put it this way, if you see something, if you're watching this video on YouTube and you're about to buy a meteorite on eBay, look at the about, go to my YouTube page, click on about. It has all my contact information. You send me a picture of the link and I'll tell you if it's real or not. I'm not, you don't have to buy it. I'm not even selling it. Just, you can run it by me and I will tell you if it's fake or not. And if I approve of the seller, if it's someone I know personally, I'll tell you everything this guy sells is legit. Anything as listed, you can buy with confidence, because I'm not trying to steal money. I'm not trying to, this is not a money grab. It's trying to make people safe and keep people from buying gravel and fake, irons made into fake pallasites. If we don't spread the word and warn each other, then we're going to get run over with all kinds of fakes. And you think arguing with rock hounds right now is hard? Wait till you have someone who paid $500 for a fake iron pallasite.
Or a few $1,000s for a fake lunar.
Yeah.
Seems like it's an easier way for them to sell it on eBay over the internet rather than to attend a show and have fake wear and try to sell to people at a legitimate show, because I know people like yourself would run those people right out of the area on a rail.
Oh, I'm a taxpayer and I'd have the police do it for me. There is no fraud and scam in my presence. It will not be tolerated.
Right.
And so I have no patience for people trying to make a buck on someone else in unscrupulous manners. And we as collectors and educators, and we're the only people doing a weekly hangout. We're the only ones posting on YouTube. Like, this is where some people are getting the main thrust of their meteorite education, which is great. That's why we're here. But we also need to educate people. Be careful. Stay away from this. I just wrote a letter of recommendation for an IMCA member, and I had to retell in that letter to the board of directors that the guy felt really awful when he realized his first meteorite he bought didn't exist until 6 years after he bought his first one that was fake. And it's just, and it's horrible. It's to think that you've been showing this thing off to people, super proud of it, and people are taking pictures of it because they've never seen a rock from space before, and then you have to feel like a punk 2 years, 6 months, whatever, 6 years later when you find out, wow, I was suckered. I now have a pallasite that's not a pallasite. So that's I didn't really want to go into scammers and everything, but I do want to go into the fake products that are out there. So this is an offer. If you look at my about on YouTube, you'll see how to get in contact with me. If you're buying from someone on eBay and you're not sure that you're making a safe purchase, send me the link. I'll try to help you out as best I can.
There's those rectangular pallasites that are on eBay too. Those are all fakes.
Yeah. And anything that looks like it was poured into a mold and it all has rounded corners, and there's 16 identical ones, they're fake.
Yep.
You know, meteorites are one-offs. You're not going to find two that are exact. You know, I showed you out of the same block, this piece and this piece were cut. They look nothing alike size-wise, shape-wise, but they're from the same thing. When someone has 12 360-gram pallasite tubes week after week after week, you know, you got to question it. Look, before you buy something on someone's eBay, look at all their sold items and see if you agree that all their sold items are legit. If you can look at their sold items, completed sales, and you go, wait, that's an obvious one, or I question that. I'm not a super knowledgeable guy, but I question that. You can probably just nix the entire seller and move on to someone more legitimate. Don't get ripped off. Let me see here. I have one more thing I'd like to show off. I made mention earlier that someone unfortunately got taken advantage of. Chris, take it away.
So in 2005, I was at this shop and I found this that he was selling as a meteorite. Well, let me preface this a little bit too. So he had several meteorites for sale. I bought one and I took it back and I thought, you know, this is like, what can I do to test? So I got on the internet and I started looking, and somebody said, you know, taking a streak sample. So I went up to Lowe's or Home Depot, whatever it was, and I bought a piece of porcelain tile and I brought it back and I did a streak test and it came out with a red streak. And so I was like, this is hematite. So I took it back to him and I was like, hey, I think this is hematite. I don't think it's a real meteorite. And he goes, okay, well, is there another one you want to trade it for? So I was looking at this one and I was like, you know, just the shape of it, it has this like nodule coming off of it. That looks more like a real meteorite to me. Mm-hmm. So I took it back and I did the same streak test, and the streak test was pretty much like clear. And so I was like, you know what? This is probably real. So I kept it. And for years, I would show people, you know, hey, you want to see a meteorite? Have you ever held a meteorite? The one thing I didn't consider, and I don't know how well it shows up, but it's got a coating on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I did my streak test, I was streaking lacquer, or something like that. Yeah. So even though I did what I thought was, you know, trying to test it myself, I didn't consider the fact that it had lacquer on it. So anyway, for 7 years or something, I was showing people, hey, look at it. I have this meteorite. This is my very first meteorite ever. Nope. This is some kind of oxide that came off of an old car in South Kentucky or something.
Jeez. That sucks, dude. See, that's what I'm trying to avoid, you know, because no one, and I'm not saying it's about you, Chris, but no one wants to be made a punk of. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know,
and I keep it for that reason. I have, 7 or 8 of them in my cabinet. So when I'm talking about that, I can show people, see this? This is what real looks like. See this? This is what fake looks like. And I have 7 or 8 of them, ones that I got knowing that they were fake, but I kept them anyway, just because I wanted, it's kind of like before I did meteorites, I was into terrestrial stones, and I've got a whole tray of lab grown sapphires and, fake stuff, just that you can look under a microscope, compare it, see, the differences of them. So I don't know. I kind of think it's an important thing to have a group of fakes. That way you can compare them and look at them and show and whatever.
I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah. Sometimes that's the best learning tool, because everything I see is a meteorite. I don't buy unknowns, and I don't rock hound myself. I go out in strewn fields and hunt, but that's not what I do. That's a one-off. Everything I touch is a real meteorite. So it's good for me, especially to be at a quandary, like, is this or is this not, when I'm in Tucson and I'm looking at something and I compare it to everything else in my mental database. And I'm like, this doesn't look right, but it's only 25 cents a gram. So I'm going to take it and cut it. But, walking in, I'm taking a risk. I'm taking a gamble. There's some that I cut that I got for in the very bottom of the 30 cent a gram bin, and it was all earth. And then I found one, and I cut it, and it was we believe a little 3 gram lunar. I haven't done lab testing on it, but I still have it in my probable pile. But
you don't take a bastard file with you and reach in the bin, pull something out, create a window, do you?
No, but the good thing about the Meteorite Mansion is when we get all of our purchases, we can go back to the Meteorite Mansion that night, cut them, lap them, look at them under the microscope, and we may even have access to an XRF. I'm not exactly sure, but that's one thing that's really great about that, is because you go there, you have a question like, and a lot of the northwestern Africans, Morocco, Algeria, Mali, Mauritania, a lot of them, I've been doing business with them for a few years now. So if I go and we buy something and I tell them, look, I'm kind of questionable about this, I don't think I'm not really sure this is what it is. I go cut it, lap it, look at a microscope, bring it back, and I say, look, this is terrestrial. Okay, go, you have a credit, go, So there are some terrestrial stuff even in the African dealers who are knowledgeable as well. They just have so much sheer volume that they don't look at it or inspect at all. It's shipped to them in a crate. It arrives, they put it on the shelf, and they try to sell it. Hey, we have a special guy on vacation joining us, Mr. Mike Kelly.
All right.
Yeah, check this out. Howdy, buddy.
Hi, Mike.
Hey,
Can
Mike.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Good.
Good. How you doing?
Good. Late to the party. I just got up to Maine, but I wanted to share one piece. This is one that I just got in and I thought was pretty cool. Let me flip the camera around. So you're looking at, let me get the focus. There it goes.
Yeah.
So this is a US Fall 2016 L6. Any guesses?
Wait, 2016?
2016.
That cannot be Michigan, can it?
No, not Michigan.
Oh, okay, it's too big. I'm out of guesses then.
I know what it is, but I won't tell.
What month? What month did it fall?
So it was it's January, and it's January 24th.
Nope.
Okay, so this is Osceola.
Oh,
So this is Florida.
Florida.
Osceola. Osceola. Okay, yeah, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong.
Osceola.
So
Nice.
what I thought was kind of cool about this one is there's 37 meteorites where they've been able to using video feed and radar and everything else, calculate what the actual orbit was for the meteorite. So this is one of those 37 where they actually know, that this thing came from 2 astronomical units away from the sun's, so it's sitting, on the inside of the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter out there. So I thought that was a pretty neat fact
cool.
with a decent amount of crust on it.
It's got some really nice dark crust, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, when you hit me up earlier and said you had a crusted American fall, I was like, Western or Creston? Which one?
So this one's neat because it actually, I guess, the orbital location of it, and they did a whole bunch of cosmic ray exposure pulls on some samples out of it to see how long it's been floating out and how big of a body they thought it came from. And Creston is actually the other L that plots really near this thing. So when you guessed Creston, I was like, it's pretty close.
Astronomically speaking.
Yes, astronomically speaking. So I didn't bring the cards with it, but this actually came out of the Reverend McLean collection. And I reached out because I know one of the hunters of this was Larry Akins. And this came with his card signed in May of 2016. So I'm pretty sure it is off of one of his two pieces, since he would be the first card there. So I reached out to him, and I'm trying to figure out which of the two stones it's actually from, because it would be great to know which of the two it's off of.
Wow. And those two stones are documented in the MetBull, so you'd know, you could say mine's off that one.
Yes. So
that's
just wait to hear
phenomenal.
back.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. Well, congratulations. That's the first time I've seen Osceola. Is that how we're saying it? Osceola?
Osceola.
Somebody who's better at it than I am.
Osceola.
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 Okay.
Pronunciation long O. Osceola.
Osceola. Well, I'll tell you what, we can all agree on the pronunciation of this next one. Sikhote-Alin. So I just have 4 of them that I want to show that I think are pretty interesting, because they show different signs of they show that they broke up from the main mass or later and at different stages in the ablative flight. So like this one, we see really, really nice regmaglyphs on.
Going to be one of the prettiest, if not the prettiest meteor of all meteorites.
Yeah, it has so many beautiful ones, and I love the regmaglyphs when they just line up to each other and almost make a honeycomb pattern.
Absolutely.
So this was broken up earlier in the flight and was able to get wind divots and regmaglyphs all in it. Then here's another one that broke up a little later in flight, because it still has a little bit of regmaglyphs on it, especially on this side, but it shows a little bit more violent tearing.
Yeah, it's more like shrapnel.
Yeah.
Especially with that little hook right there.
Like
so
the brontosaurus neck.
So you normally don't see regmaglyph shrapnel. So
no.
this would have broken up later in the ablative flight when it didn't have more heated flight to melt that off any further. Then you go to something like this that has regmaglyphs and orientation, and that orientation can be confirmed. Oh, sorry, it's a little slippery. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's lipping.
Cool.
Yeah, it's got a really nice roll of lip, even on that edge right there.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
So, a negative pressure, you can see how it's like a bowl of cereal.
Yeah. And
then that's what we're talking about when we talk about negative pressure, where it actually indents from the negative pressure. But yeah, you can see the rollover on it now, and it still has regmaglyphs, so it's a uniquer one. Now this one, yes, Art, this one is oriented, but it is in rough shape. So this was obviously not found or picked up right away. But I really wish it would have been, because it would have been breathtaking to have that. If the front looks like crap now, imagine how this looked when it was fresh.
Oh, it was stunning originally.
Yeah.
You're sneaking a Tektite in on us, so there, or button?
Nope. No, we're talking solid nickel iron right here, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is a oriented but very worn Sikhote-Alin. So I thought that was interesting to take a look at a few Sikhote-Alins, from the super regmaglyph to the regmaglyph and oriented, and then all the way to straight, full orientation. There's no doubt about that one. So yeah, nice edge.
Do you use any oil on them to make them shine more?
Nope. Just just light and my natural Italian squeezins. All right, guys. Do I have any hands up all right now? We have John Young with his hand up. Last call for show and tell, guys.
Sorry, it's really bright in here, but you were just showing your Sikhote-Alin. This one I got from Aerolite kind of a while ago, but it's really gnarly.
It's not clean
so
too.
well. It took me like 20 minutes to unpack this because they're so careful with their stuff, but it's pretty wicked.
That's a Sikhote-Alin.
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, it's rare to see them not cleaned.
Yeah,
it's totally unclean.
I've got like a tiny one that's not clean.
Yeah, they wrapped that little piece at the top like so much. Like I literally spent 20 minutes taking it apart.
But that's what makes that whole piece, though, just about.
Yeah, I know. Without it, this one has kind of cost me a bit of money because it's got a bit of everything. It's got regoliths on it. It's got this kind of like fissure here, and then I don't know if you would call that oriented, but it's. And then on this side is crazy. It's like.
That's some shearing action right there.
Yeah, but the guy knew what he had, so it wasn't the price of a regular Sikhote. It was like I paid up a bit, but it has like a bit of everything that you might see. So anyways.
That's a really unique sample. That shearing is really dramatic.
Yeah, I'm just on my iPad, so it probably doesn't look that great. But it's pretty impressive. But
we can see the violent life it had for sure.
Yeah, I like this big crack here, fissure.
Yeah, and that almost looks like it has fusion crust on it right in there, and closer where your thumb is on the top. You're rotating the wrong way.
Oh, sorry.
Right. Yeah. In those on those soft spots there where it's really smooth, that may be a little bit of fusion crust in there too, because I can't tell if it's the blue reflecting off your pad there or not, but it has some really good color to it.
Anyways, it's kind of neat. It just has a bit of everything, but
yeah, look. You see what I'm talking about, guys? How dark it is in there?
Yeah, I never thought of that, but
yeah. It's really hard to get a piece of Sikhote-Alin with fusion crust. They're out there, but you got to pay for it, or you got to know someone or who's had it in their collection for a while and is just now willing to get rid of it. Let me go ahead and pause this 1 second. We are at the end of today's session. Some really good stuff, really good friends, and we'll be back next week. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Have a good week.
Bye.
All right. Have a good week, everyone.